Hello there everyone, this is Brother Birch. In this video I wanted to introduce the week 4 personal assignment. For this one you're just working on your project, you're setting up your database. Okay, so if you do this team activity first, you will have created a database, done the Heroku Postgres commands to do to create everything and insert data using the command, the little Heroku tool right here. Um, so do that team assignment first before you get started on this because that is everything you'll need for this assignment. Okay, but for this, you need to have a schema in place for your database. Okay, create tables and relationships between them. You're not required to have tables populated with data just yet, although depending on your application, depending on how large it is, you might want to get started on that sooner rather than later. It might also help with testing purposes as well as you're working through stuff. So create a database on your server. Okay, so this isn't to create a local database. If I go into reading right here, let's open this up real quick. Oh, sorry guys. So looking at this, it'll go through how to create a database at Heroku. With this command, it's all right here. You can check the URL of that. You can see that this is not stored on my local machine. Okay, you can look up the information of that database and then you connect to it. Okay, once you connect to it, if I open up this right here, you can see I just inserted a bunch of data into some tables that I just made, and that's because I connected to it. And so mine looks similar to this, okay, but with my database name, Powerful Escarpment, it's pretty powerful. Okay, let's see what else. And then there's a few videos in here that are really helpful as well in kind of getting you started and thinking about this. So create a database on your server. All right, that is in this reading right here. Okay, or whoops, right here. Okay, this command right here. That's to create a database, and then you can start creating tables that you'll need for your project. Choose appropriate data types for each column. Okay, so in your team assignment, you were instructed to develop things visually first, and write up what your tables are going to look like and what columns they're going to have. As you do that for your personal project, think about what data types would be the most useful. Okay, ensure that each table has an appropriate primary key. All right, usually, if I go over to our team activity, we looked at. Let me just pull it up real quick. Having speakers in conference, and so my conference table had an ID, which is a primary key. My user table had a primary key, which was just an ID. My notes, my speakers, all of it, it all had just an ID, which was a unique ID for every row that would be entered, and that was my primary key for each. Include foreign key constraints wherever possible. Okay, so we don't want redundant data. So in our team activity, when I was, making a note, I wasn't going to include the title of the conference talk of that note. I was going to include the ID of that talk. Okay, so the primary key of the talk table, would be a unique ID for each talk, and then I could just include that ID whenever I make a note or something like that. Or I could include the ID of the user whenever I made a note, instead of including like the name of the user or something like that. So include foreign key constraints wherever possible. Eliminate data redundancy. Okay, these three things are key. All right, these two things are required for eliminating data redundancy, and this is required to have a good, efficient, and effective database. Okay, saving your SQL commands. So notice in here, I haven't. My code up here is for, I have a video DB SQL thing that I'm going to do for this assignment, but for my team assignment, I had a create one where I created my tables. I had a delete script in case I wanted to delete all my tables, an insert script where I inserted all of my data, and then just a query script with just some help for queries to just check up on the data in my database. Okay, and so I made these 4 files, and then anytime I want to just stick them in here, I can just copy and paste it into here. All right, and so I would highly recommend that you save SQL files, so that you have them in the future anytime you need. Okay, and with that said, that's pretty much it to introduce this assignment. So I hope that this was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later.